Man, am I glad that this is a college football show. Holy cow, my bracket is cooked. Don't even look at it. It's abysmal. I think I'm in last of 121 entries into the Brenton Austin show pool. Missouri I had in the Final Four. See ya. Clemson had you making a run. See ya. The Tritons of San Diego. You almost pulled an upset. My gosh. Welcome in to Stadium Pulse and the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. I'm sorry you had to see it. Something I'm of anybody who watches this show or any show on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network at all today, I have the worst bracket. You will not see a worse one. You won't. You will not, unless you had Kansas winning it all, which I don't think you did. Welcome in. We're talking college football for the next hour. We might get you might hear the word basketball one or two more times today. We are in mid-March with spring practices, and there's a lot to talk about. But I'm just saying you might hear it once or twice. But we do have a lot to get into today. Pro days as well. Got more intel on that. We got to talk about Georgia. In many different aspects. So we'll hit them. We'll hit UCF, FSU, Miami, and Florida. Those are our 5 teams we talk about every single week here on Stadium Pulse. Nick, did you see my champion for March Madness?
Yeah, well, I first heard about it because Liv told me yesterday when I came into work. I gave her a hard time when I rolled past the sports office.
Right.
But about the time I did that, she looked at me and said, "You're going to like Hamby because he's a homer." And I'm like, "What do you mean he's a homer?" And she's like, he picked Tennessee. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, we're good. We're not good, actually. We're doomed."
Is that so? Y'all's chances of winning decreased because I picked you.
Oh, yeah. Anybody that picks us to win it, yeah, it's automatic. We're just not going to win it.
Okay. Look, of the, again, 120 people we had in the Brenton Austin show pool, if you didn't get into that, there's always next year, there were 3 people who picked Tennessee to win it all, and I was 1. I thought it probably would have been more. But nonetheless, just 3. So, I mean, not as bad as you would have thought if you're going by number of people picking you means decreased chance of winning. I think 41% had Florida winning. And obviously they played today at 6:50, Norfolk State. I'd give you $100 if you knew Norfolk State's mascot name off the top of your head.
Rams?
I don't know.
Oh.
I hope that's not. Look it up. Maybe I don't know why I said that. Please don't be Rams.
Spartans.
Whew. I was sweating there for a minute. Kind of felt like it could be it. I have Tennessee winning it all.
What's your method to your madness there?
Okay, you want to hear the method?
Sure.
It's very simple.
Hit me.
Okay. I hate Florida.
Fair.
I would never pick Duke.
Fair.
And I don't believe in Auburn.
Interesting.
I have them going to to be a champion. I have them going to the Final Four just because I didn't really like anybody there in that quadrant, the upper left. I don't know which area, or else I would refer to it as that. But I just know the upper left. Yes, thank you. South. Really was searching. Didn't really love any teams there, so I picked Auburn to go. I wanted an SEC team. Nick, we are SEC truthers on this show.
You got 3/4 in the Final
So
Four.
I got 3 teams in the SEC in the Final Four. But I didn't want to be. I could not pick Florida. And in my head, seeing Tennessee win a championship in anything would make me sick. At the same time, I think I'd even rather them win this one than Auburn. So yeah, I was either going to pick a 1, 2, or 3 seed, and it had to be an SEC, and it couldn't be Florida, Auburn, or Duke. So Tennessee. And you have a UNF guy, former UNF, Chaz Lanier on the team, which didn't really factor it in at all, but now that I think about it,
yeah, and he was
a plus.
Bucket in the game last.
What did he drop, 28?
Something like that. I think he had like 26 with 6 minutes to go in the game, and may have pulled him.
No, he made one more shot after that, I think. Maybe 28 or 29. Regardless, I had Missouri in the Final Four. And let me break this down. I guess, look.
At 29.
Again, it's mid-March. It's mid-March. So let me break down my let me break down the Georgia Bulldogs basketball team just here for a second. If you would bear with me. I know what you guys came for and it wasn't this, but hopefully you find this entertaining to start your Friday off. Okay? So Nick, how locked in are you to Tennessee basketball?
I'm semi locked in. I'm not like watching every game,
but you're
following the team. I can name most everybody in the starting five and a couple of bench guys.
Okay. All right. So that's probably, I would say, most people that are diehard football fans, the large majority of them are probably like you. Because the large majority of diehard football fans do not also follow basketball that closely.
Yeah.
Some are kind of either one way or the other. There's a few, obviously, that are both. So I'm like that, all right? So I'm a little bit more, I'm watching every game in the SEC play, at least, for Georgia. And fully expecting, okay, we haven't made the tournament in 8 years, okay? We're not good. We're not a good basketball program. Heck, we had Anthony Edwards, and we didn't even make the tournament. One of the best players in the NBA. By the way, just going to throw this out there. I've watched 0 seconds of NBA basketball this season. Legitimately 0. So hopefully Anthony Edwards is having a good year. I think if he was having a bad year, I would have heard about it. But anyways, so that's where I'm at. I'm watching every SEC game as far as Georgia. And fully expecting us to not win, but my hopes are high. Okay, and then I see the bracket. All right, we got Gonzaga. And I thought this was really good. So I ended up being about 10 minutes late getting home to watch the game. And I turn it on.
And turn it off.
And the score's 18-3. I'm like,
yeah.
Is that even real? 18-3? There's like 8 minutes gone by. I mean, have they not even taken a TV timeout? I think the game was a 3:45 tip, and it could have been past 4 when I got home. And we were at the under 12, 18-3. Which is like, especially in March Madness when not everything is starting on time anyway. And you got to get those, actually, timeout from the timeout already with the pig commercial, man.
No.
We just running that back from 15 years ago?
It's a solid commercial.
Nick.
I love that one. It's nostalgic.
You would.
I remember
you
that.
would, of all people.
I remember that from being a kid. It was like, I like the commercial to me as a kid was funny. So now it being back to me is funny because it's nostalgic.
Oh my God. Seriously, you might be the only guy in America.
Thanks, Mrs. A. Gets out.
You should have to imitate the pig right now. Whoa. I wasn't going to do that to the people. I wasn't going to do that to him, man. Holy cow. Why are we just retreading that from 15 years ago? Geico doesn't have enough money? Or they just think it's that big of a hit? I mean, I'm talking about it, so you win, I guess. You won. Unfreaking believable. It's every TV timeout. Is that on CBS or is that on True TV? Is that one running? Because the Georgia game wasn't on CBS, I don't think. It could be on all 4.
I don't know.
They
might sell it to everybody.
That's irrelevant. But why am I surprised that you enjoy that?
Commercials like that stand out. That's why they get replay. It's because it's different. It's not the normal. It's like Geico and their bit with the lizard or whatever. It's totally different. It stands out. It's different. Sure, the the pig going wee stands out, and it's think about it when you're doing a newscast. Sound bites play better.
That's very true.
So that right there, when you hear that pig, it's going to pique your ears. You're going to look at the TV. That's why it probably rates well. It gets people to look at the TV, and they probably get a hit percentage off of it. That makes more sense to run that than something new. And when you got it canned, your production value is a lot cheaper, so you make more money off of it, and you pay for the same slot, and you don't have to pay for a new commercial.
I don't hear. I'll tell you this. Okay. No part of me watching that commercial makes me want to give Geico money for their insurance. I want to give Geico money to can the commercial. I'll pay you $10. I know the basketball itself is free in my mind because it's a subscription based and whatever. And for whoever's watching, TV seems free because you don't even register it when you pay it every month. Maybe you do. But most people, I would say, don't. I would pay a subscription fee to get that commercial and that commercial only out. Just give me, like, I have YouTube TV, so every once in a while, you'll get you'll be right back and enjoy the Zen.
Space. Yeah.
Dude, I would pay $10. I would pay $10 for just March Madness for the next 3 weeks if I never had to see that commercial again. Easy. Taking my money. You wouldn't? No, you want them to double it up.
That wouldn't bother. It doesn't bother me as much, honestly. Now, one commercial I'd pay the $10 to get pulled is that commercial from the Super Bowl with the dancing tongue.
Oh yeah, that one was weird.
That's just odd.
Just bizarre.
Yeah, like that one's a bit weird. Like, I don't want to watch a dancing tongue. I can deal with a squealing pig for 30 seconds, but not a dancing tongue.
Okay, so anyway. So I come home. It's 18-3. There has been no timeouts, it feels like. And then as soon as I get in there, they're going to break. Again, 18-3. What in the world has happened? First commercial, pig. Nightmare. Well, and then it gets worse. Did you see what that score was at its worst?
Was it like 28-3?
30-5. I guess, yeah, 28-3 too. Like, what?
Yeah.
We're getting Falcons Patriots Super Bowl in a basketball game.
Getting mopped.
28-3. And my roommate comes out, and he sees my distress. And he was like, well, yeah, it's Gonzaga. And I'm like, bro, like, they're an 8 seed. And he said something to me that was very comforting. Very comforting. He said, bro, that's like playing the Chiefs if they randomly get a wild card one year. Still the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, I appreciate that. I gave him a handshake. It made me feel better about my ball club. They didn't miss a shot, bro. They literally didn't miss. I think they were 8 of 11 from 3 in the first half and must have ended the game freaking 16-20. They must have shot 70% from 3 at the minimum. It was insane. Play us in basketball, Gonzaga. That's what I got for you.
They shot 60% across the team in 3 points.
Nobody's beating anybody.
5 from the floor.
Nobody's beating yet. I guess that's a saving grace. So yeah, here's my college football show. As we are, here's my advice: play us in basketball, Gonzaga, or play us in football. Just messed up the whole line.
Do they even have a football team?
That's the whole point, Nick. So Georgia, nice early exit. Appreciate you, Mike White. Thanks for playing. Tell your friends. All right, that's enough college basketball for today. I do have Tennessee winning. Florida, I will be preying on your downfall heavily. Just not today. I don't want to see you go out right now, like round of 64. I mean, it would be really entertaining. Don't get me wrong, but you are an entertaining basketball team to watch, and I don't have near as much hatred for your basketball team as I do your football team. Now it's still there because the university and the logo is the university and the logo, and it's the fan base. Those are all the same. But I'm not going to act like I hate Tennessee's basketball team like I do their football team. Or else I wouldn't have picked them to win the championship. I think everybody's with me on that. That got me to thinking about this. Hypothetically, if you did have a round of 64 in the college football playoff, hopefully the way I frame this question makes a little bit of sense. What seeding pair? What's the biggest discrepancy you would have to get to until you got an upset? For example, if the 1 seed would play a 16 in a college football playoff, they would never be an upset. They would never be a 15 beating a 2. They would never be a 14 over 3. But could there be a 13 over a 4? Where would you put it? If you had to envision what types of teams would be a 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 seed type team in a round of 64 with 4 each of those, how would you have to get? You hear what I'm saying, Nick?
Yeah.
Okay. Because here's where I'm at. Again, you're not getting no 16 seed in the would ever beat a 1 in football. A 15 would never beat a 2. A 14 would never beat a 3.
I'm going to beg to differ, and it's going to harken back to last season. Tell me right now, in a 64-team field, you take the Diego Pavia-led Vanderbilt Commodores.
That's a 7 seed, Nick.
And throw them. No, they're not.
That's an 8 seed.
A 6 and 6 team.
That's an 8. Okay, that's not a 7 seed. That's an 8 or 9 team.
All right, Hamby.
I love YB400. He's locked in at all times. I appreciate it.
But there's always a chance.
Okay, hold on, Nick. Vandy's the what? Okay, they're not in the top 25, but they're what? Are they in the top 50?
Yeah.
Are they in the top 40? Are they the 40th best team in college football?
No.
45th?
Somewhere like that.
Okay, then they'd be an 11 seed.
Other than 6.
Because you can just multiply by 4. So if Vandy's the 44th best team in the country, they're 11 seed. So yeah, I'm saying at times Vandy could beat a 6. That's your 6-11.
Is there any way to see like the top, how all the schools ranked at the end of last season?
No, I don't think so. They don't really do it past. I mean, you're just going to get teams that have votes. But so that's what I initially put was the first thing you'd have to get to was an 11 versus 6.
Yeah.
I don't think a 12 being like, okay, so that's your 48th best team in college football is beating your 20th. Maybe. But to have a good shot, you got to get to the 6-11 matchup. So it sounds like you think that it could be a 12 or 5, and you could potentially get a 13-4.
Yeah.
I think give me this. Okay, UCF is probably the 60th best team in college football last year. So they're going to be a 13 seed.
But weren't they like 4 and 8?
Yeah, they were terrible. Well, I mean, they're probably still the 60th best team. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there. They'd have to beat how many times are they beating the 15th ranked team in the nation as a 4 or 5 seed? Almost never. Like, probably never last year. I don't know. It's just the thing I was thinking of. How far up the seeding would you have to go? Because obviously your 8 and 9s flip. 7 10s in football, that's a flip. 6 and 10, I think you got a good shot. Or 7 and 10, excuse me. 6 and 11, that's where I think the initial phase is. And then 5 and 12, that's a big stretch. It's a big stretch. Because we talk about it all the time. I mean, we even talk about this with a team with the round of 6, if they expand the playoff to 16. Like, you're not going to get the Cinderellas. You're not going to get as many upsets. College football will never be March Madness or anything close to it. We've talked about this on the show quite a bit.
I think that's easier to say now in the day and age of NIL actions, motives, moves, whatever, being out in the open and being legal, where it will be like a clear divide at a certain seed of haves and have-nots. But I still think like there's still a chance that there would be 1 or 2. I'm not saying it's something that'll never happen because I don't believe that everything or something like that is truly impossible. I think you can get a team on a good day that wants to win the game and will walk into whatever stadium and beat you.
Mm.
I mean, we've seen it with like FCS over FBS teams walking in and beating them. I mean, it almost happened to Tennessee a while back against App State when they were like sort of hot. Shouldn't have been a team you lost to. And then you look back at that Michigan game. It's another one. Look at NIU playing like the second place national championship team or whatever, like semifinal runner up. I mean, they beat them. Any team can walk into your place and beat you any given Saturday that they want to.
Right.
So I don't think even as a 1 and a 16, if you put Georgia at 1 and whoever at 16, let's just say let's just say it's NC State.
Well,
like,
Nick,
there's no guarantee there that either team's going to win. Sure, Georgia's got the edge, but still NC State could walk in and say, look, we want this.
I mean, yeah, that's your 64th best team in
which I don't have no clue.
College football. Yeah, I don't either, but it may be something like NC State. I mean, NC State's never beating Georgia in a playoff atmosphere where they have 2 weeks to prepare. Like, never. They might beat them 1 out of every 20 if it's week 7 sandwiched between Alabama and Florida.
Well, you never know that. That's the other thing. You never know. Even with 2 weeks off and 2 weeks to prepare, you don't know what's happened in the last game, who's healthy, who's hurt, who's what. You never know. Every scenario, you can be like Doctor Strange in Endgame and play 14 million scenarios. But you'll never know the one, but it'll always happen. You just don't know how it's going to happen. It's kind of like what happened with Tony. He couldn't tell him because he didn't need Tony to know. But that's always a possibility. I don't think that's why you get Cinderellas every year or an upset or whatever. Like, who was it yesterday? McNeese over Clemson. I mean, they just dog walked them. But,
Yeah.
And you can get that, I seriously think, with anything. You get a Temple. What was it? Temple with Matt Rule a while back? Or they suddenly got hot and were really good? You catch a good team at a bad time, anybody can be beat.
Mm-hmm. I know.
That's why, like,
but it still has to be closer. Like Vandy Bama
was a shootout for some reason.
That's a 12-5 matchup.
I still don't know that Vandy would go that high. Because how many 6-6 teams are there? I mean, that's the thing I'd like to know is I wish I could see the record of everybody at the end of the season. Because the top half, I think, of the bowl games, how many 6-6 teams do you have that are Florida at the end of the year that's trending really hot? I mean, it's a 6-6 team that took 3/4 of the season to hit their stride. I would not have wanted to play Florida at the end of the year with Lagway healthy and them clicking. Because if that would have happened week whatever, 5, 6, whatever it was, they had to come into Neyland. Yeah, we'd have lost that game.
Yeah,
and it had Billy Napier's. He's a good coach. There's a reason why he's paid millions. He's dumb though for not having started Lagway earlier. I don't care about the other dude who put in his time. Sometimes even when you put in your time, you get your own card punched out for you,
right?
For the next guy up. So I think there's always, and it's just if teams peak at the right time, there's always a chance.
True.
And Florida would have been a scary team. And I'm not shy to say that they're going to be on the cusp, I think, of a playoff berth this coming season. If everything with Lagway still keeps clicking like it was at the end of last year, they're going to be a problem, which is not a good thing. And I don't like the fact that Tennessee had to play them in week 12 or week 11. With week 0, I don't even know whatever week, but I know the next to last game. But back to and that's the thing. I think you can still get the 1-16 matchup and it be there for the chance. I don't think the chance is totally snuffed out. It's always there, just looming. It's ready for somebody to take it. It's like a ladder match. Who can get at the top of the ladder first?
I get that. All right, it's time.
Time for what? Break?
No, not for break. We'll get that in a second. Nick, when someone on a team that you're a diehard fan of, which for you would only be Tennessee,
not necessarily. Well, Tennessee or Jacksonville.
Let's just keep it Tennessee for this right now. And this is whoever's, if you're watching, fill in the blank, whoever you're really diehard fan of. And one of your players does something really dumb, says something really stupid, gets arrested, you fill in the blank. They're in the headlines for wrong reasons. To what extent do you feel responsible to almost act like a spokesperson for the team? Because your friends and your peers are probably going to expect you to, right? Because the first thing that happens every single time that a Georgia player gets arrested for a driving-related instance, I'm asked questions by plenty of people. Bro, what is going on? And I feel like I'm the freaking PR person for the athletic program or the football program, and I got to come out with a statement defending the school.
Yeah.
Defending the team. And look, at the end of the day, you're going to defend your school. You're going to defend your team.
Yeah.
But am I allowed this is a genuine question. Am I allowed to distance myself from trying to defend and be like, I'm not a spokesperson. I don't really have anything to say that you wouldn't have to say. Is that, you understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
See, it's a weird sports thing that we do as fans, where again we are treated like if you are known as the Tennessee fan, right?
Yeah.
By I'm sure plenty of your friends, and those that are of your friends that are not Tennessee fans, who are not in it like you. Anything that happens at Tennessee, they're going to ask you about it, and you're expected to answer.
Yeah.
And it's just a weird thing to think about. Maybe I'm the only one who thinks this is I don't know. Cool's not the right word, but it's an interesting thought experiment in my opinion, to where, you know, the line between fan and spokesperson of, look, this is just my team. Like, because again, I guess I feel like this might be just me, because my team, for all the wrong reasons, has been in the headlines 25 times in the last 2 years. Like, legitimately 25 times. And driving-related stuff and off-the-field stuff. Am I tired of it? Yeah. I mean, it happened on the show yesterday, where Austin and I are going back and forth on, shoot, I don't even know what. I think we were talking about the new NFL rule. I think we're talking about the tush push. And then there's the headline. Nitro Tuggle arrested on reckless driving and speeding.
Yeah, I remember we ran the Nat sound from that at the shows.
Oh, did y'all?
Yeah, 6:30, 10, and 11 last night.
Oh, great. That's the one they did?
Yeah.
Oh, I made one of my first TV Brenton Austin show appearances.
No, you've made a couple. They've run some packages on weekends, and sometimes you're just sitting in the middle of an interview and you're there. But
well, yeah, but this is me reacting to a Georgia player getting arrested. Oh, thanks. That's
so
funny.
now you truly are branded as a Georgia spokesman.
Seriously.
But no, I understand what you're saying. It's like you're a fan of the team, and people are going to ask you, but it's like, look, I'm just a fan. I have no affiliation. I'm wondering the same thing, and I have no answer. It's like, sure, Tennessee does something stupid, or it's like you, I think last week on the show or 2 weeks ago, asked me on the show about James Pierce and what happened with him. It's like, all I know is he got arrested.
Right.
It's a bad look. I don't think he's a bad human. What they're seeing and what I saw on the field as a Tennessee player and a fan of him as a player, I don't think he's that bad of a guy. But nothing I can do about it. I'm just making a character judgment knowing absolutely nothing about this guy. And that's kind of what Georgia's been backed into a corner essentially with, is that everybody keeps getting arrested, and then it's calling everybody's character into question.
Right.
Then it's going to call the character of the university, the character of Kirby into question. Because, all right, if you're leading a program like this and this keeps happening, why is there no accountability? Because the accountability would start at the top.
Yeah.
So that's how this thing just snowballs. But even like down here, I'm like, I'm just a fan. I love them, but I can't answer for Kirby or Nitro or whoever else has been arrested.
Right.
It's like, look, all I can say is I'm a fan of them. It's not good that he's gotten arrested. It's not in a good light. It doesn't look good, but there's nothing I can do about it. I can't tell you anything else.
Yeah. And
cut and dry, end of story. We're on to the next thing.
That's kind of where I'm at. I mean, I have a few more thoughts, but like YB400 in the chat says, I had to answer questions when Jameis got caught stealing crab legs, freaking crab legs. Yeah.
And that's forever ago. Good Lord.
Yeah, and you had probably, I mean, yeah, the response is, well, what do you want me to say?
Yeah.
Like, what do you want me to say? Nitro Tuggle and Marcus Easley's, there's still details that need to come out about that. He crashed. Like, so I believe that it was a single car. It was just him going off the road and crashed into an apartment complex. Like, there's a picture. Or maybe he was right off the side in the front yard or something like that. It's not good, but at the same time, it's like, does Georgia have a cultural problem? That's the question Austin kept asking me yesterday, and he's right to ask the question. At the same time, like, culture and behavior, they're tied together, but they're not the same thing, in my opinion. And maybe he would disagree. Maybe you would disagree, but it has nothing. I don't think it's indicative of our culture at all. These guys are not a bunch of thugs. They don't know how to. They don't know how to drive. They're just making dumb decisions behind the wheel. They like to go fast. I'm not trying to downplay it because this obviously stems from, like I said yesterday, a tragic situation 2 years ago. And so everything that's been since then has been linked to that. Because if that one thing, and of course I'm talking about Jalen Walker and Devin Willock, that whole tragic situation, if Nitro Tuggle yesterday is arrested because he's going 75 and a 55, and that's a lone incident, you don't think anything of it. If all of these things except that one big one happen, it's still not that big of a story. The headlines would almost be a joke. Like, holy cow. Like, Georgia guys can't drive. That would be the headline because it's tied to that, and it should be. I'm not saying it isn't. It shouldn't be because it's tied to that. It's this huge thing.
Yeah.
I just did want to make that point. Look, it's frustrating because those are good players. Like, I mean, easily, who knows how much he would have played this year. But Nitro Tuggle was supposed to be a decent, be part of our receiver room. And I'm sure he'll be fine because he was just speeding. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what the deal is with Easy, but both players have been suspended. Like, that's the part I always get to. Is like, what do you want Kirby to do? He suspended both. What else can he do? Why are we all of a sudden forgetting that these guys are not? This is not 2005. No, these guys are professional athletes. If we're going to treat them like professional athletes in every other area, then we have to treat them like professional athletes. What's the head coach of an NFL football team going to do if his 24-year-old, like, and nobody are people calling on Andy Reid to discipline his whole team and change his whole culture? Does the Chiefs have? They got worse problems. Maybe I shouldn't compare the problems, but they got issues. Their receiver room, just about every one of them is. I mean, holy cow! Andy Reid, no, you don't expect Andy Reid to do anything because those are grown men, professional athletes. Guess what? They were grown men, professional athletes when they were college 1-2 years ago. Yeah. All those guys are young. That's all I really got to say about it, but I obviously have to talk about it.
This thing I'm looking here, this is from dognation.com because I was just looking up to see the picture. It's pretty smashed in Easley's car. But it's Nitro Tuggle was arrested Thursday on speeding, maximum limit, reckless driving charges, released on $26 bond.
$26. It's a slap on the wrist. Yeah, he was speeding.
It's like 2 large pizzas.
Yeah, because in Georgia, anytime you're going that far, that fast over the speed limit, the reckless driving is automatically tacked on.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not the same everywhere.
Is it 20 over?
Yeah. It's one of those super speeders.
Got close to one of those one time.
Oh, hey. By the way, also guilty. I do a lot of driving up in Georgia. I've gotten one of those, maybe 2. Who knows? Okay. Not been arrested, no mugshot, thankfully. Nowhere close to that.
Speaking of Georgia mugshot.
Uh-oh.
I was talking about that.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that's all I got on that, man. It's just, I wonder what some of the weirdest, not weirdest, but like YB with the, he had to answer for Jameis crab legs. Like every fan's got that, where they've had to defend or serve as the PR spokesperson for their team. Let me tell you how many times I've ever rooted for Nitro Tuggle and Marcus Easley individually in my life. 0, because they've not played. Like I don't root for Georgia for the players, right? Yeah. And I say that just because I'm able to separate, right? I do love the players and I grow an affinity towards the players. I root for the school. I root for the emblem. I root for the team. So I think some of the perception is like that you can't, if you're a diehard fan, you can't point out blame because you'd almost be like crossing your own team. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Like if I'm hypercritical of Nitro Tuggle, I must not be a true Dogs fan or else I would defend him. Like I don't buy that at all.
Yeah.
Like when he's on the field and he's wearing a Georgia jersey, like yeah, he's gonna have my full support. Doesn't mean I got to defend everything the guy does, or else everybody would be in trouble. Every fan, whether the things were seen or unseen. Anyways, that's what I got on that. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to go fast-paced. We got a lot of things I want to just kind of throw them at you. Some headlines from spring practice, and some head coaches making switches to their cultures. Not as big of deals, but maybe one thing that you find interesting, maybe another thing that is long overdue. Maybe every coach should employ this one, social media-wise. That's right around the corner, Stadium Pulse on a Friday. Hope you're having a good one as we get into this weekend together. Before we turn on basketball mode, we got like 20 more minutes of football before we can flip right back on over to basketball for the 16-game slate that is March Madness and the Britton Austin Show from 10 to 1, live from Strings Sports Brewery. We'll be right back.
When it comes to trucks, I know exactly what I want. And at Bozard Ford, they make it easy to get exactly that. Let's go make this truck a little more my style. With Bozard Built, I can create my perfect truck right here. Lift kit? Check. Premium wheels? You bet. Advanced lighting package? Oh yeah. The Bozard team works their magic. From bumper to tailgate, I'm making this truck mine. It's everything that I wanted and more. From the field to the gym to weekend adventures. This truck's built for my journey. Bozard Built. Customized for your lifestyle, built to exceed your expectations. Check out the inventory and available options at bozardbuilt.com. Unleash your dream ride. Customized, covered, and Bozard approved.
When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness. And most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. GMC, we are professional grade. If you need a quality play this football season at your home, call That One Painter First Coast. Locally owned and operated, experienced employees, no builder grade materials. And there's more, and for that we throw it to Noah Schlicksup. That One Painter First Coast can apparently help your kicking game too.
Well, after my failure on skinny sticks last year on Creekside game day, I've spent a lot of time out here at Creekside practicing my kicks. There's only one issue. How is that even possible? The good news is I know exactly who can help. That One Painter can handle all your painting needs, from field goal posts to cabinets to stucco. They got you covered. Though they may not be able to help with my kicking, they can certainly help with the posts. Call That One Painter First Coast today for all your painting needs at 904-495-1373.
'24 provided plenty of memorable moments for the Jacksonville Armada on the pitch, including another conference championship game appearance for Tommy Krasanovich's under-23 men's team. Debuting this year for the first time, the girls in blue as the Armada fielded a women's under-23 side in the WPSL and made its presence known with some highlight moments.
Potential goal of the season!
Then attention turned to the future, with MLS Next teams representing the Armada badge in 3 age divisions this fall, including an under-19 squad ranking among the best in the state. Those teams are a big focus on Fleet and Footy, covering the big soccer stories each week on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
I'll put one in the back of the net for you.
Join us for player profiles, fun interviews, and the very latest on the Fleet and all things footy. That's every Thursday at 2 p.m.
Welcome back to Stadium Pulse, the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Interesting time in college football. We got spring practice. We got the pro days. We got the spring games. We've been talking about the lack of spring games. A lot of programs canceling them. Texas, Nebraska, schools like that. Tennessee thinking about it, looked like. Florida thinking about it. FSU not having one for renovation purposes. So what does Deion Sanders do up at Colorado? He says, not only do we want to have a spring game, we want to just go ahead and rip the conventional model. Well, let's go NFL style, NFL model, where we'll have joint practices over a couple of days with another team, and then we'll finish that with a scrimmage, a traditional, like a controlled game. That's what obviously the NFL does between, I believe it is week 2 and 3 of the preseason. The Bucs came to the Jags and joint practice, and then you finish with that preseason game on Saturday. Fran Brown, former Georgia position coach, now head coach at Syracuse, says, "Hey, I'm all in. We'll be there." Well, it's too bad. It's not allowed by NCAA rules. It's not even a possibility, so there would have to be a rule change for that. But again, look, Deion trying to be on the forefront of something, trying to get something done, trying to switch things up in the collegiate game, and I think it would be cool. I'd watch it. Shoot, as football stars as we are, if I can watch a team play another team, I was gonna watch. Was I gonna watch Colorado play Colorado? Probably not. Would I probably watch that night if they posted some Juju Lewis highlights? Yeah, but would I definitely watch if Juju Lewis, if I get to see him playing a Syracuse defense for 2 drives? Yeah, I'm tuning in. I'm tuning into that. Nick, how would you feel about it? I mean, if you get a non-conference, because that would never happen. A team that's not in your conference, would you watch a scrimmage in the spring?
Yeah, I want Colorado and Colorado State. I need popcorn in the spring.
Yeah, never.
I need popcorn watching in the spring.
You never get that. Teams that they could ever play in the fall would never be a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, it would be neat. It'd probably be a good. Well, actually, I leave the spring game as it is. If you want a preseason game, make like your open practice at the end of fall camp your preseason game, and you got to hold it like regionally.
Yeah.
So where teams don't have to travel coast to coast.
Right.
So you get like Stanford and San Diego State, or Nebraska, North Dakota State.
Okay.
You'd get regional games like that of teams that want tune-up games that you won't cost them too much to do. It gives you an extra game. It's preseason. You lose one spring or one fall camp practice in place of it. You get game reps. So you gain a lot in giving up that one practice, I guess.
Yeah. Clint in the chat, he's been active. Appreciate you. Clint says Norvell and Prime don't get along, guys. That's because Mike Norvell was asked in an interview maybe yesterday, maybe 2 days ago, about the possibility of if he would like that idea, that model of playing somebody after what Deion had said. And Norvell was like, yeah, potentially look at it. Obviously, the logistics, is typical coach speak. Yeah, we look at it. Could be interesting. Logistics would probably be too hard to iron out. Definitely didn't probably have any interest in playing Colorado specifically. I think that's where the question was kind of posed at, trying to get that answer. And I think I'm with Clint on this one. I'm talking about Mike Norvell. Oh, yeah, you're talking about Jay Norvell, Colorado State. Well, hey, it applied to both because Mike Norvell was asked about Deion and wanted to play. So that's kind of ironic. So I appreciate that clarification, Clint. But yeah, Mike Norvell, and that's kind of where maybe that's just because I wanted to take it there. Mike Norvell, and we'll get to Colorado in a second. Another chat that you or comment that you posted. But Mike Norvell's hitting the switch, Nick. He's doing a little 180, a little about face, because FSU has been one of the more open teams to media access, media availability. You know how it is in college football at most stops. It's hard, right? There's not a whole lot of media access. There's not a whole, they're going to keep as much as possible behind closed doors, outside of what they are absolutely mandated to do, right? Oh, Clint is Glenn C, by the way. Okay. Let's see. Appreciate you, brother. But Mike Norvell, so FSU used to be real open. Has been. And then he put out a statement, I believe, this week, a couple days ago, that was like, hey, after doing a full review of everything that we needed to do, and of every part of our program after last season, we're scrapping media availability extra. Anything extra. Pretty much the gist of it. Probably a good thing. Is he taking a note? Is he taking a piece of advice from Gus Malzahn? That's what I want to know. Is Gus Malzahn be like, did he show up and be like, dude, this is not how you do it. It's not how we did it at UCF. You don't have to give all this extra access. Now, before you jump to conclusions like I did, if you read to the bottom of the paragraph or letter, Mike Norvell was very specific about saying, hey, I'm not blaming our 2-10 season on extra media access and anything like that. This has nothing to do with this. This is just something that I want to switch. But nonetheless, probably poor timing. Mike, if you would have done this after the last season, you probably would have been all right. You probably would have been all right. You could just done it after the bowl game after you took your boat with him from Georgia. You would have been fine because you had a great season. But after going 2-10, probably not the best. I don't know, but I just wanted to tell that. So if you have a little bit less, if you're an FSU fan watching and you get a little bit less nuggets coming out, well, there you go. Back to Colorado real quick, as Clint/Glenn C pointed out just a second ago. Byron Leftwich is back in the coaching ranks, and now he lands at Colorado as their quarterback coach. Nick, did you see that?
No, I didn't until I was reading an email earlier that there was sound with him, and I thought Leftwich to Colorado.
Under the radar.
I have a problem, though, with this staff. They're all NFL greats, legends.
Marshall Faulk, Warren Sapp, obviously Dion. Now you got Byron. There's two more guys that I think
had
had.
Guy that doesn't really match up to the rest,
right?
I think, but just because of the NFL pedigree doesn't mean these guys are going to be a good coaching staff.
Of course not.
That's a lot of potential for ego, a lot of potential for.
Oh yeah, I like to see those meetings.
For stuff like that, and sure, maybe like Sapp. I read a thing the other day that's like his favorite job he's ever had or something. I don't know.
What?
Yeah, he had a really positive soundbite somewhere about the job, but I don't think it's the best thing in the world. It's kind of a coaching staff. It just seems like it's loaded for the wrong thing.
Okay.
To wind up happening.
But
it's still cool that guys like that are forming. I mean, it's one heck of a staff.
It is. Crazy fall from grace, though, from Byron Leftwich, from Jacksonville media telling you that not this media, other media, telling you that he got the job as the Jaguars head coach, to being out of the game for the last year, and now being a quarterback coach at Colorado. Was seen at one time, like I said, as a top up-and-coming coach, head coach in the National Football League, coming off his time as being the OC with Tampa Bay and the Buccaneers, Brady. But nonetheless, he gets to go work with Juju Lewis, obviously one of the most highly touted, highly recruited quarterbacks in this last year's class. Guy's going to start right away, true freshman for Colorado, so that'll be interesting. That's probably great news for Juju Lewis, because you get, Byron Leftwich, I would venture to say he's probably one of the best in the game. Moving on. Another person that's flipping the switch, not exactly in a 180 type of way, but Rich Rodriguez, in his second stint with West Virginia, Nick, is banning TikTok dancing for his players. Now, he wanted to be very clear about this and say, hey, I'm not banning TikTok. I'm not banning any social media. I'm specifically banning dancing on TikTok. Because, what does his quote say? Because it, quote, erases edge the team should portray. It's about time. I'm sick of watching. I don't think really Georgia has too much of an issue with this, But I've seen it too many times. Why are the dancing on TikTok's not the best look when you play one of the fiercest sports and you're dancing on a social media to some TikTok song on a Friday night and you got to go play Saturday. So good move, Rich Rodriguez. Way to know the current climate. That a baby. Nick, TikTok dancing? You're a former football player? You in or you out? You scrolling through or you staying to watch?
Wait, if I'm what? A former football player?
No, if a volunteer is dancing on a TikTok is doing one of those things. Man, I sound like I'm 80. You scrolling through or you staying to the end? Staying for the whole hook.
Not the whole hook.
Oh.
I might be on like SpongeBob where they contemplate the hooks,
Mm-hmm.
but they're like, we're gonna go away from the hooks.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, I've seen a couple of guys. I think the most viral one would have been Boo Carter last year. I think post Bama dancing in high point.
Oh, that's right.
Walks up out of frame and tells Boo, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah. So that's all I got on that. I just thought that was an interesting headline. I thought I'd share. Banning TikTok dancing for the program. One note from Florida practice and one note from Georgia as we about to get out of here. From Florida, Troy Wilson. He was the headline guy this week that was coming out from the media over there that he's fully back from the hip injury. It looks like he's back up to speed, and not only that, but he's really taken on that role because it's outside of him. It's a young room. It's a young room with Sturdivant, Dallas Wilson, obviously your most highly touted recruit. Vernell Brown, I believe, as well, young recruit. So Trey Wilson is going to be the leader. He's going to be the go-to guy for DJ Lagway. Man, that's a star-studded group as far as talent, as far as prospect, but they are young. And Wilson barely played last year, but to have him back, look, and for him to be fully healthy, that's huge. Still no word on Lagway. I don't think there's been an update there. So as far as we know, he's still not throwing. One note I got for you, Georgia practice is Kirby talked a lot about, holy cow, what are we going to do at safety now? That's not how we put it. But you got KJ Bolden. Obviously, you just lost Malachi Starks. You just lost Dan Jackson. You got KJ Bolden, who was a true freshman last year. He's the elder statesman in the group, as Kirby put it. And then he went on to list 6-7 guys that have been getting work at the safety spot. So that's an area of concern. Or an area to keep an eye on. For Georgia also said, hey, there's not a single freshman on our roster that's in shape. They're all hands on hips, puffing wind. UCF practice, don't have any notes for you on that one. They did have their Big 12 Pro Day. BJ Adams ran a 4.46. That's my UCF note for the day, and I apologize. Hopefully I'll have a lot more for you next week, but I got to work with what I got. Man, the time again. We spent too much time talking about my stupid bracket, and I can't wait. Let's see. Here's the thing. Here's as we get out of here, Nick. I'm not on the Britton Austin show today. You are, right? That's a rhetorical question.
Correct.
Yeah. I worked overnight, so I'm getting out of here. Bummed. Well, I was initially bummed because I enjoy the show, of course, and I was hoping that I'd at least that my bracket would be good and I'd be able to gloat. And turns out I'm going to be able to dodge a lot of that, not have to be a spokesperson for my bracket today, as I would assume I would have to be. But at the same time, I know that's not going to impact the amount that it's going to be talked about because I'm sure I'll be absolutely flamed time and time and again. Those guys will be at String Sports Brewery coming up in about 5 minutes, 10-1. They got the latest on the March Madness. They got the latest coming out of Jags HQ. And we appreciate you hanging out with us. College football / basketball talk on a Friday. This is Stadium Pulse. Appreciate everybody watching, hopping in the chat. Hope you have a good Friday. We'll see you next time.
When it comes to trucks, I know exactly what I want. And at Bozard Ford, they make it easy to get exactly that. Let's go make this truck a little more my style. With Bozard Built, I can create my perfect truck right here. Lift kit? Check. Premium wheels? You bet. Advanced lighting package? Oh yeah. The Bozard team works their magic. From bumper to tailgate, I'm making this truck mine. It's everything that I wanted and more. From the field to the gym, to weekend adventures. This truck's built for my journey. Bozard built. Customized for your lifestyle, built to exceed your expectations. Check out the inventory and available options at bozardbuilt.com. Unleash your dream ride. Customized, covered, and Bozard approved.
When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models, or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway, or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness, and most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick GMC. We are professional grade.